All right, so what we're going to take a look at now is probably one of the coolest features that's been added or enhanced to Excel in recent versions. This is a new feature that was added in the 2013 version of Excel. So what that means for you is if you're using the newest version, 2016, or you're using Excel 2013, you will have this feature. If you're using 2010 or earlier, you will not have this feature. And I think when you see what it does, it may be something that actually makes you say, you know what, maybe I want to upgrade just based on this one feature. It has saved me, and I know countless clients, a crazy amount of time from just based on what it does. So to just give you a quick example, previously, if I ever needed to manually correct or create manually maybe some custom fields, it would take me either doing it manually myself, and depending on how many rows of data I have, that could be a lot of time, or I try and create a bunch of nested functions, which ultimately ended up usually not working. Definitely not 100%, but not maybe even for the majority of what I needed to get done. So it's never been an easy process. What it does now is it provides you with the best solution for updating and adding, maybe customizing your data. It just depends on what you're trying to do. So you can see in the image that we've got a custom field, and you can see that it's sort of pulling in some information. I'm going to, without taking the wow away, I don't want to steal your wow. I want to drop into Excel now and show you what it does and give you the perfect example of how you might use it. So let's go take a look in Excel. All right, so we're in our calculations and formulas workbook, and we're on our profit for sales by region, one of our spreadsheets here. And what we notice, I'm just going to kind of talk about the spreadsheet for a second, is you've got some region, salesperson, the salesperson's social security information, we've got some product information, we've got some sales and expenses and profit information. And what we're going to do is we're going to populate these two columns here. Now, before I get going, I just want to show you, if you look up here between E and J, you see the double columns, the white column there, and also between L and O, we've got some hidden columns. So I just did that so that we could see what we're entering here without having all of this information. So in fact, I may actually come in, I'm just going to hide these two as well. So they're all there. I just want to be able to see these two fields. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, I want to be able to, maybe I need to print off a sheet, but I don't want to show the full social security number. So what I want to do is I want to give it the last four of the social security number masked look. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go just focus on, when you start out, you just focus on the first row of data that you need to enter. I will tell you that it works best if you have a label above and that you don't have non-contiguous columns, meaning you don't have any empty columns. You want to have all your data available and next to each other for it to access. So we're going to type in 324-55. Now, if I could type in 7878, but that's not really what I'm going for. I want to type in pound, 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 so that the last four numbers of social security number are masked. What I don't want to have to do is have to go in and type in every one of these numbers with the pound, 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 pound. So if I go to the next row and I start to type in the 124, which is for Avery, I type in a 1, and as you can see, it actually fills in, and it's not showing me the whole list, but it will. It fills in the social security numbers with that pound, 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 pound. And if I scroll down to the bottom, in fact, all the way down to Velasquez, it is actually filled in. So this is awesome. Now I have where I can actually print this out, and I could hide this, or I could put this in a completely different sheet. And I know that for Johnson, that maybe this tells me the state that they were born in or something like that. So I've got that information. If you've ever needed to do that with credit card numbers, social security numbers, any kind of PPI information, it's a great tool to just add the mask yourself and then put that information into another spreadsheet. Now, what I want to do with the custom is I want to come in and I want to make my own field. So I want to use information out of these other columns. And it's interesting how it looks. So you do have to spell things correctly. So if I type Johnson with a T, it's not going to know what it's looking at. It's not going to recognize that Johnson is here. So let's try it again. And I'm going to type Johnson, and I'm just kind of going to add my own. What do I want to see? I want to see that it's in Region North, and it's for product SH8799, and the dollar amount in parentheses is the total sales 3747. Whoops, I gotta put a comma, 702. Now I'm gonna hit enter, and as soon as I come to the next one, let's see if this one fills in like we did with Social Security. I type in the A because Johnson is unique from Avery. So as soon as I type in the second one, it looks and says, oh, so you must want the same pattern. You want Avery, and then you want in parentheses East, and then you want this product, and then you want the total sales. And I'm going to hit enter, and there all of my information is filled in, completely correct. So if I had typed Johnston instead of Johnson, it would not have understood when we went to Avery to fill that in. This feature is called FlashFill. So I'm just going to just from a visual perspective, shorten this field here. And I'm going to copy this field, put it here, and I'm going to show you another way that sometimes you might need, I'm going to call it custom to. Sometimes you might need to force it. So let me give you an example. If I do this and I say SH8799, so I'm starting with the product number. And right now, I know this looks kind of hard to see, so let me double click and widen the column, and I'll just scroll over here for a second. So we're going to start with the product number, and now let's say in parentheses, we're going to put 2004, and we're just trying a different order. And let me put Johnson here. I'm going to put Johnson 2004, and maybe we want part of their social security number, okay? So we're going to put 324-55. I'm going to hit enter, and let's see if the next one takes off, which should be B7, and that one actually did as well. So let's try. When you're going to find that you have to force it is typically if you start with something where the first two are the same or not unique enough. So I'm going to delete these for a moment. It's awesome that it works so great. And I'm going to come in, and what I'm going to do is actually change for a moment this region to north as well. And now let's come in and let's start with the region and see what it does. Let's widen this guy. So the first region we know is north. So I'm just going to type in north, and then let's just pull some of these. I'm going to say 2004, and maybe in bold, I want to see SH8. I want to see the first three of the product, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's all we want to see. Now the next one, we're going to go over here and look. We know that we pulled from north. So if I go to type north again, oh, interesting. It doesn't, what it's doing is an autofill. It thinks it's looking at the field above because it is not unique enough. So if I come in here and we know 2012, as soon as I type the 2012, it fills in. So now it's looking at the rest of what we've got going on. So let's see if the third one would be 2015 and HT5. South 2015 HT5. So this is how FlashFill works. Now occasionally, I'm going to back up and I'm going to empty this field out. Occasionally, maybe you're one or two down and it still isn't automatically going. You might need to force the flash field. And so there's a couple places you can find it. If you come to the editing group on the home tab and you click on the fill drop down, you'll see that little button that says flash fill. Automatically fills in values. Enter a couple of examples. So I'm going to click on flash fill here, and you can see that in fact it goes and pushes it in that way. So if it's a lot cooler, obviously, when it just does it automatically, but you can also force it. So the other place you can find it is on the data tab. Right here is flash fill. So I think if you can open up some of your own work, one thing I noticed it did not do is it did not bold that information, which I thought it would do, but that's all right. If you will try this out with some of your own information, if you're trying to enter data, it will also be very helpful. So if I come over here and watch, I'm just going to insert name. And I don't know if this is going to work or not. So let's see if we do Johnson. And I'm just going to say Lindsay Avery. Sometimes it'll detect the last name. It thinks it's Shelby. Is it going to notice the Morris? It's not. So let me see if it'll detect this flash fill. And that one, it says, okay, we looked at the data. We don't see a pattern. There's no first name here, so that's not going to work. If I have a first name listing next to it, that would work. So let's just pretend for a moment that the regions are first names. I'm going to type North Johnson, and then we go North Avery. Now it fills it in. So now that's how you can see, instead of doing maybe a concatenate even, sometimes a flash fill is a better solution. So it'll take what you already have in different columns and combine them. and you can add your own elements to it, such as the masking. This is a very powerful tool. So I encourage you to give it a try with information you already have, or try and enter. The other thing the last thing I want to point out is you'll notice that this little button is here. When I hover it, it says FlashFill options. You can click on it and it says, do you want me to undo? Like, did you not want me to enter that? Or do you want me to go ahead and accept and select all? Well, we already accepted when we hit enter, so it's there. But if you ever, sometimes, occasionally I've had where I don't want it to flash fill and it tries, and then I just say, you know what, don't. You're not helping me right now because I'm not trying to do what you think I'm trying to do. But more times than not, it's going to assist you and help you make your job a lot quicker, a lot more efficient. So have some fun with FlashFill.